Hi friends, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be diving into talking about a cosmetics company that I have not discussed before on my channel and didn't know about until recently, and that is Note Cosmetics. And I'm also going to be doing a review of this blush. This is the Note Cosmetics Luminous Silk Compact Blusher in the shade Desert Rose. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the company. I'm going to talk a little bit about this product. I'm going to apply the blush, as I'm not wearing any right now, but I have been testing it for a number of weeks, and then I'm going to give you my review of the product. For all of that, there will be timestamps down below, so you can jump to whatever part of the video you wish to watch. I will say, for those of you who are more common watchers of my channel, if you notice that I have been away recently, I know things have gotten really spotty lately on my channel. There's been some things going on in my life, but over the last week, I've just been away at camp, and I unfortunately didn't have time to pre-film, so I am thrilled to be back. This is my first time wearing makeup in over a week. This is pretty much the hair I wore the entire time at camp because, you know, messy bun is pretty much the way to go. But if you wonder where I've been, that's where. But I am super happy to be back and filming again. In doing my research on Note Cosmetics, it was a little bit of a journey. So what I usually do is start out at the product's website and read about the About Us, all of that sort of thing. But here is what happened is I typed into the Google machine, Note Cosmetics, and I went to a site that originally was in a different language, but it had drop-down bars that I could get to the English website. It didn't really seem to have an About Us or anything like that, so I thought I would jump into looking at the blush product that I had received. So I went to the, you go through, they have face products, and they do have all kinds of products. They have like concealers, foundations, powders, eye products, mascaras, blush, lip products. So it really is pretty much a full service line of products. I'm not sure that I really saw primers, but they do have a whole range of products. So I went to the face section, I then went to the blush section, and when I went to click on the product to look at the different shades of it and get more information about it, this is what happened. And it just kept cycling, and nothing happened. It got hung up on that page. So I thought, how am I going to do this and research this product if I can't even get to the product on their website? I tried different browsers, I tried on my mobile versus my laptop, all of that, and I thought maybe it's this is blush. I went and tried to look at their foundation range. Same thing happened. I couldn't actually get into the pages about the products. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to do at that point, and somehow I thought to myself to Google Note Cosmetics Canada, which took me to an entirely different website that did work for me. It wasn't the best laid out website either. So for example, when I went and clicked on the blush, it did give me all of the different blushes, colors, but when you clicked on the different colors, there was nowhere that told you which color you were clicking on. Just some things that made it seem a little bit messy. I also noticed that there was a separate page for Singapore. So if you are looking for Note Cosmetics, you probably want to type in Note Cosmetics and then whatever country you're from, because it does seem like there's a number of different web pages that all look very different and aren't connected to each other. I also noticed, because one of the things that I try to do is look at the point of view of the company to find out who they are, what it is that they try to do, what their point of view is. Are they luxury? Are they all about fun, bold colors? Are they affordable? What is it that they do? Why am I buying from them? So something interesting happened again, because when you Google, it sort of gives you a little description, underneath the Google search. And that talked about luxury at affordable prices. And I'll just show you here what came up. And I could not find anything referring to Note Cosmetics as being luxury at affordable prices anywhere on their website. So I think what may have happened is that they changed kind of their focus, and somehow Google was still pulling up their old one. Google also showed an About Us page that started to talk about the company on that main first website that I found, but when I went there, the page didn't exist. There was nothing there. So on the Canadian website, I was able to find sort of a description of Note Cosmetics. So at the very bottom of the Canadian Note Cosmetics page, it said, Note Cosmetics is a global luxe makeup line that aims to bring noticeable beauty. We make products to help you highlight and capture your individual beauty and embrace the art of beauty without compromise, which to me is one of those descriptions that has a lot of words and doesn't really tell me very much. A few other things about the brand that I noticed is that the products are sort of drugstore level priced, maybe a little bit higher. So the foundations are like in the low 20s range in Canadian dollars. I think you can buy these, I know you can buy these on Ulta if you're in the States, and there the foundation is sort of in the $17, $18 range. So it's not as high as Sephora, but it's sort of upper level drugstore pricing. I also noticed that their shade range really lean towards the medium to deep end of the spectrum, which is interesting to see because usually for shade ranges, you get a whole crap ton of like light and pale shades and next to no deep shades. So it really did lean towards that very middle tan deep shade range, which I think is interesting and good. I also did see a reference at one point to this brand being founded in Turkey. I was having a really hard time finding information about this brand, but I do sort of see if it was a brand that wasn't started somewhere very like white European centered, that perhaps that is why they have a better shade range for their products. So the reason I was able to find that out about it being founded in Turkey was I finally found one article about Note Cosmetics, and it does actually have a pretty good like pedigree of people who founded it, for lack of a better term. So I don't know why they don't talk more about who they are. So I found an article from 2016 that talks about how a former NYX Cosmetics and Cargo Cosmetics executives launched a new makeup line, and that is Note Cosmetics. So it's kind of interesting to know that it's not, you know, some individual who loved makeup or a former makeup artist. It was people who were involved in the business of NYX and Cargo who founded this line. So they do say that it launched in April of 2014 in Europe and Asia through corporate headquarters in Istanbul, Turkey. It does say in this article that Note professional cosmetics products are infused with botanicals and are produced in its manufacturing facilities in Europe. Luxury formulations and packaging. The line will offer a broad shade for the multi-ethnic market and will launch with an average US manufacturer's suggested retail price of $10. So that was kind of what I was able to find out, and it seems to me, just from reading that and from seeing that original tagline about luxury at affordable prices, that they originally had started out with more of that affordable price point and maybe then decided they didn't want that to be their point of view and switched into more focusing on the ingredients in their products. So let's talk about this blush. This is the Luminous Silk Compact Blusher in Canada. This is going to cost you $16.50. So again, high end of drugstore range. It says it has special active ingredients including argan oil to boost moisture levels in the skin. It adds luminosity and cares for skin at the same time. It does come in 8 different shades. It is also infused with botanicals, paraben-free, cruelty-free, and vegan. And I do believe all of Note Cosmetics is paraben-free, cruelty-free, and vegan. In the little compact here, you do get a mirror. It's not the most luxury packaging, it's just sort of a cheapy plastic, but you get a good amount of blush, you get a mirror in there, and you do get sort of a little brush tucked underneath, if I can just open this up, in the little compartment right here. So if you do want a little travel brush, or, you know, it's not a good one, but it is there if you want it. So I believe that is everything of note to say about this blush. So let me get you zoomed in a little bit and I will apply some. So I've done a fairly neutral look today, and I'm going to go in with this blush, which is a very nice peachy coral tone, very nice for summer. And I'm going to go in with a very fluffy brush because this is incredibly pigmented. It reminds me very much of the Pretty Vulgar blush in that you just tap into here once and you'll probably need to tap some of that off your brush. It's so misleading because it doesn't look like there's much there, but as soon as I go to put it on, it is pigmented. And now that I've said that, it's probably gonna prove me wrong because I did a very light tap there, but let me go ahead and get this on my cheeks. Of course, now that I said that, it doesn't come across as super pigmented. I learned to be very careful with this blush. Let me do what I would usually do, which is go in and just sort of tap it in there, and that's when you can see how much it picks up on the brush. So I am tapping that off a little bit and then going in. Oh, and see there, you can see how very pigmented this is. So I'm tapping off again pretty hard and then going in with the other side of the brush to blend that. And again, when I'm doing this, this is the side without any pigment on it, to just sort of blend that out. I do think it is a gorgeous shade. It's just, you gotta be careful with it. It is just so bright. Again, tapping in, I've picked up a lot there, so I'm gonna make sure I tap it off. And you can see again, with tapping it off and being very gentle, you still get a lot of pigment. Now, one little trick, if you do get too much pigment on, instead of just blending and blending and blending, one thing that you can do is get a translucent powder or a setting powder, a face powder. I brought in the Laura Mercier translucent powder that I got as a tester in my Ipsy, because you can go in with the powder and then blend that over top, and it just sort of brings down and neutralizes a little bit the color of the blush. And that can also make it look very natural if you're worried about having hard edges or anything on the blush. So I do think that this is a really pretty shade. I think it looks very natural and just brings out a brightness and a sort of natural peachiness that is very flattering. So in my final review of this product, I have a few thoughts. I think on the pro side of this, you've got a beautiful color here. It is gorgeous. I have loved using it. And once you find the right way to use it, it's very good and it's gonna last you forever because there is so much pigment here. I think that it's great that this is a company that has started out being very focused on not just sort of the pale spectrum of shade ranges, that they really go into mediums and deeps. And you'll also see when you look at the other colors of blushes, things like that, they have it for all skin tones. And I really think that is awesome. I think this company has a lot of work to do on getting some consistency for their brand and a real point of view to it. It's really hard when you go to different countries' websites and they all look different, they all function differently, and when there's different taglines and things out there, and also when you don't tell us anything about why you founded this company or what it is. I did see some reviews. I think the products they have are probably good. I saw a review on the site Hello Giggles about their foundation being like her holy grail foundation, the author of this article. But it just feels very messy right now when you go to their website and look around. It doesn't feel like there's anything really drawing you in and really making you want their products, because there's nothing that really is making them stand out. I think on the con side of this, the main one is how pigmented it is. It can get you into trouble real fast if you're not paying attention. You know, suddenly you've got all this blush on and you have to spend time blending and fixing it before going off to work, and sometimes that is time you just don't want to spend doing that. I think it is not priced inappropriately, but there are some really awesome drugstore blushes that are a little less expensive than this. So blush is one of those things that I have a hard time justifying going outside of drugstore, because there are, you know, the Milani blushes are beautiful. There's just a lot of really good ones at the drugstore, but I think this is priced relatively well, especially as there are like the good skincare ingredients in here. And if you are looking for cruelty-free vegan products, this one is really good. It does last all day. So there are some pros and some cons. I think I'm gonna keep using this. It took a while for me to find the appropriate way to use it and making sure that I wasn't just going all clown face when I went to go put this on. So I would love to hear from you if you receive this in your BoxyCharm subscription. Have you been using it? What do you think of it? Have you tried other things from Note Cosmetics? Because it is for sale through Ulta. It is fairly accessible if you live in the US, and I'm curious about their other products. Let me know all of that in the comments below. I do try to respond to every comment that I get. I am behind right now, I will fully admit that, but I do get around to them eventually. If you like this video, these kinds of reviews that talk a little bit about a company that might be new to us, as well as reviewing a product, then hit that thumbs up button. If you've not subscribed, I'll make my face pop up here so you can subscribe. And that is all for me, so I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!